that moment in time, we can be looking at premium raise for potential entry opportunities. So now that we have defined both the engineering of liquidity as the inducing of traders, we can begin paying attention to time. But these are the
better results. Oh my, I did that when I was a kid.
morning, good morning. So gold is skyrocketing. Man, this volume just came out of nowhere. Volume came out of nowhere. There's a small little accumulation play that happened over here. I can see the wick came back to retest that region, which is right here. So, you know, this is something we speak about quite a lot, and how it usually retests these zones. So we're back in that. Looks like we had to give it one more retest before continuing to move up bullish. Yeah, right now we got like some kind of resistance here. It's breaking above, but there's not a lot of room for price to move up from this point because majority of this range has been filled up now. See, as we're coming up towards that resistance, so this range has been filled up. You know, maybe there's still going to be some sells below there, but remember what we said about the daily yesterday? We're looking for... oh, the daily actually closed bullish. It reflipped bullish. I thought the daily would have closed bearish, and then we get that support being formed for price to continue breaking above daily resistance over here by 3,400. You know, break above 3,400, and then price can move up towards like 3,430 area over here. This is that range we were mentioning, about 235 pips. So that's kind of like the outlook on gold for like medium to short term analysis here, where I think price is going to be going as we're heading up towards like 3,500. So we definitely had some kind of resistance, but man, this is crazy. The daily actually reflipped. Let's see, off kill zones. What happened here? All right, so Asia. Okay, took one sell over there, and then price moved up. Let's see. So New York session pushed up. Okay, retested. I'm sure there was a consolidation somewhere around here. Came back to retest and then moved up again. Accumulation, break below. Nice little sell-off during Asia. One last sell-off pre-London. Trend had changed, shifted a little bit here as it broke these highs. Daily candlestick is negative 0.05%. So still kind of like a doji. We still haven't gotten like much of bias in the market today for sure. No bias. So we got resistance up over here. We can see that's a key daily resistance. And we got the Asia lows down below, like this support region right here. This is quite interesting. But I think today price should move up. The way it's already been moving and what we're expecting from the fundamentals, I believe everything should be quite bullish. Good morning, Siraj. Yep. Hey, Ricardo. Morning all. Too lazy, I got up so late. My first just now was the sell from the top, but only use small lot size. Let's see, new stock screener. Yeah, there's a rejection. Small little liquidity grab, I suppose. We gotta wait and see. It's like setting something up here. It's creating some kind of decent structure though. Looks like a nice little accumulation break here though on the 5-minute from yesterday's pre-New York Open. A little bit of an inverted head and shoulders confirmation in there too. Possible liquidity grab right here. Break of the highs. Price to move up. Fill the range on the left hand side. Pretty good. Then filled up the range. Profit taking. And then price came back into that consolidation. Retested it. Then continue to move up. So it's like move in stages. You know, it gives you the first move. And then if it still wants to move up, take out some people. And then continue to move up bullish. That was also a beautiful correction. Much like this area over here. Price broke below it, retested these lows. Same thing happened right there. Retest of those lows, break the structure, retest those highs. Clean. Also here, small little ranges being filled. Pretty good day yesterday. Volume came in late again. This is at 10 a.m. Yeah, this is 10 a.m. Volume came in late again. So consolidated. Look at this. It consolidated, then the volume started kicking in at 10 a.m. Pretty much the same thing that happened here the previous day. Consolidated, volume started kicking in there at again 10 a.m. to break above that consolidation. Volume's been coming in late. That daily direction's been coming in late. The true daily direction. Was the VIX supposed to not live stream today? No, we're doing live streams on Thursdays as well. I think yesterday I already thought it was the end of the week. I thought it was Friday today. But we still got Thursday. Exactly. Nice little liquidity grab. Break above resistance. Start breaking below here. Start have some kind of retracement. That's what I'll be expecting from PA. Starting to break below support. Actually, nice little accumulation situation there too. Just flirting with that SMA. Now, flirting with that 8 SMA. Beautiful range here. This range is also like about 38 pips. Nice little accumulation breakout overall from this zone. Filling up this area. The accumulation. Start breaking above. Filled up the range. Nice. Now it has a chance to move from here to here. You can get through these lows. Maybe candlestick close below support. Got 1 minute 15 seconds. Indices were waiting for Nvidia news yesterday. Sometimes gold does the same too. Oh. And how is it with Nvidia? Are we still moving up? Quarterly earnings should be out by end of next month. People are looking to short Nvidia. Oh, what happened there? Man, that was a big dump that happened yesterday. What news is this? People are looking to short Nvidia. What's this? Nvidia will pay 15% of its revenue from advanced chip sales to China under a deal with the US government. Earnings report coming, impacting Nvidia's upcoming earnings report is expected to significantly influence the market for leveraged ETFs with 112 US listed funds tied to single stocks. Let's see. Nvidia will report Q2 with expected revenue of 46.74 billion. 55.6% increase. Q3 revenue forecast is 54 billion. Driven by strong AI chip demand, despite concerns in China. Wow, guys are raking it in. 54 billion. Why do you even do at that point? Making so much money? You know, you make so much money, you don't even want to buy that Lamborghini. You don't even want to buy that. You don't even want to buy anything at any point. You make so much money, you're just like, it's the chase. You know, people love the chase. They love the chase to acquire these things. But man, if you just get it easy, you're just like, meh. You know, and you feel that in other things. Like, you know, when I'm playing video games and I get like all the money and everything, and let's say I kind of use a cheat code to get that stuff, I don't feel as good as if I just grinded the actual game. It's like a cheat code. When it comes to you very quickly, you're just like, meh. That's how trading is anyway. You know, you start finding your profitability and the wins start to come a bit more. You start getting your withdrawals and everything, and then it's not as fun as it was you were thinking it would be before you're profitable. Before I was profitable, I thought I'd be buying Rolexes when I become profitable. But I realized that doesn't even make any sense. Like, why would you spend $10,000 on a Rolex when you could just reinvest that into your account and make more money? That's why, man, billionaires, they don't give a shit about money. You never see them really like flex. That's, you know, only rich people flex, but true wealthy people never flex. You ever been to those neighborhoods like where you have these massive houses? Guys have so much money, but in their parking lot, maybe you're gonna see like a Toyota or something. Man, that's real wealth. Guys don't need to flex. Anyway, let's see what we got over here. Let's see what we got on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is retracing. I'm actually quite surprised that Bitcoin did not move up. So this thing dumped quite heavy. You know, we should be heading towards 130. 130 over here soon. We're trading at, how much is this? 113k. Crazy advance on Bitcoin though. It's insane to think this thing is at 113,000 per Bitcoin. Nvidia is just short of $200. $200. So this thing definitely has got some legs to keep moving up. Because, you know, like when you invest in something like this, you're also investing in you're basically investing in the people who are running the business. You're investing in people. You're not just investing in Nvidia, but the people behind Nvidia. So, you know, that means something like this, man, can have a lot of legs to keep moving up. I think this is a company that can just keep going. See, $200, you know, soon we're gonna be at like $300, $400. Because there's not really any competition out there. I don't really see any. Oh man, this is pretty nice. Crazy to think it was at a $20 here in 2023. January 2023, and video was at $20. Can you imagine? It's not even that long ago. Feels like the company's been here for ages, but if you look at its progress, you know, it's getting... This is the thing with growth. This is the thing like... With most people's journey, it looks exactly like this. Most people's journey is going to be here, and then once you start getting your growth, the growth, man, it is exponential. It comes in really fast. This is like a perfect chart to even show that grind. You know, like that grind of just grinding and just believing in what you're doing is right. And then, man, when it starts to come in, it comes in. When it rains, it pours. Then you're gonna look back and be like, damn, you know, this is what I wish for. This is what I wish for. And it happened so fast. You know, but you're never satisfied. Because even at this point, you're always just gonna want to keep going higher. But you're already at the level you wish you were at before. You know, that's the thing. You're gonna have a lot of these goals, and you forget you're living that life that you had dreamt of previously, but it's never gonna be enough. So you're always gonna want to be striving for more and more and more and more. So it's important to always reflect on how far you've come in your journey. And even if you're not exactly where you need to be, you're definitely a lot further than you were before. So it's good to appreciate that as well, because it's never going to be enough. You know, so you find true happiness in the journey, not in the success. So I think this is amazing over here. This is really nice. Nvidia stock dives 3% as earnings crush again, but data center revenue misses the mark. Nvidia shares dip over 3%. Revenue, earnings, top estimates, blah, blah, blah. Happy Nvidia Day, everyone. Another blockbuster quarter of growth with revenue up 56% from last year. Data centers. Oh, I heard something about this data centers. Okay, well, let's say investors were a bit hard to please about data centers. Yeah, apparently there's not enough. Something with the data centers, there's not enough of them for Nvidia's growth or something like that. Maybe there's not enough supply. So this is a reason why people are looking to short Nvidia, as far as I know. Blowout numbers, but bar set too high. Like quarter beating estimate. Wait, I didn't talk much about the data centers. Yeah, something to do with the infrastructure. Some infrastructure challenges. All right, let's see. Data centers deliver, but not enough. Nvidia's data center revenue hit 41.1 billion, up 56 from last year, a massive figure, but still just shy of Wall Street's 41.3 billion target. When expectations are this lofty, even a rounding error matters. Roughly 50% of data center revenue came from hyperscale cloud providers like Amazon, Alphabet, and Microsoft, underscoring just how dependent Nvidia's AI dominance is on big tech's deep pockets. Ooh, that's not good. Man, now this guy's got leverage. They're gonna have leverage over them. CEO Jensen Huang called demand for company's new Blackwell platform extraordinary and hinted that any softness in data center sales is more supply driven than demand related, something investors will want tested during the remainder of the year. Yeah, it's crazy. Man, so it's not a growth problem. It's definitely not a growth problem, but they have other problems. We continue. Another thing is also with like sometimes the cells and the chips and stuff, you can't have enough resources to make those chips. So you know, sometimes it could be so difficult to get certain tech because of a lack of chips. Shitload of demand, but not enough supply. We continue to work through geopolitical issues. Total analysts suggest that navigating regulatory headwinds remain a top priority. Corporate juggernaut seeks to balance explosive AI demand with policy constraints. Man, AI is just awesome, man. I love AI. You ever go on ChatGPT and talk to ChatGPT? Because I recently had an update, and man, that thing sounds so real. Like you can literally talk to it, and it sounds like you're talking to an actual person. Man, crazy. I try to ask it to count to 1 million, but it can't count to 1 million because it's gotta take forever. It's kind of smart though, not to overload their systems. I was like, can you count to 1 million for me? But I couldn't do it. It just kept saying that's gonna take too long. Nasdaq should be remain to Nvidia. This one company affects the index. Yeah, exactly. It's brought in so much money into the market. AI. Oh, wait, my chat is not loading. Why is chat not loading here? Let me see. Is chat moving? Oh, yeah, I think so. No. Oh, price actually try to push up a bit more. Where's that daily is about to flip? About to get that daily flip. Just needs to move up. How many more pips here? Like about 4 pips, 4 or 5 pips. Get that daily flip in. Now it is at a quite important supply zone right now. So we're just tapping into the supply area where we had that head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, bleed off. Beautiful little sell off here. I think that was more geared towards that Asia, man. Asia has been moving so nice this year. This market cycle, Asia has been moving so nice. Beautiful little sells here. And it's usually clean PA. No. Yeah, thanks to China Central Bank buying up all gold. Yes, that would be smart to buy up the gold, especially now we're getting closer and closer to the FOMC. They definitely have to get in their positions. You know, that's a funny thing. They gotta get into their positions early before any kind of like confirmations. You see, that's why they use more fundamentals than technical analysis, because they can't use technicals because they're the ones creating it. So they gotta like get in based off the fundamentals sooner. Move these markets. So you can already see this push, these bull runs happening. You can also see them on the lower time frames, slowly getting into positions there. See how these 1 minute candles are behaving on the upside. As yeah, price is moving up. So imagine that, chat. Like imagine now for people who are so in love with the risk to reward. Could you imagine how their risk to reward must be if they're the ones actually moving the market? It's not gonna be it's not gonna be something like this. It's a very dynamic way of managing risk. Like this would be way too simple. Oh, just give me a 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to... You gotta learn how to manage risk. Setting a risk reward is not managing risk. That's just a way to... Risk reward does exist. Obviously, you can say what's the risk reward to this and what's the risk to reward to that. But most retail traders, they only think of risk to reward like this, green and red. But you know, it's super dynamic. Risk reward is very dynamic. So you always got to always elevate your thinking, like when it comes to risk in the market. Because if you're going to be like in an environment like this, the best way is to understand just the overall environment, the context of the environment, how it operates. And the more you understand that, at least you don't have, you can better like have better perspective on things. You know, there's this thing in the brain when people die, there's something you can measure in the brain. I forgot what it's called, but for people who don't travel a lot, who don't really see much of life, it's very small. But for those people who travel, you know, they get to see life different perspectives. When they die, it's much bigger. I forgot what that thing is called. But you know, that's the thing. It's like the more knowledge you get and the more you broaden your horizons, like it's always going to be beneficial to you. I'm going to talk with support and... Oh, okay, that's something else. What's your thoughts on shorting 3400? Oh, shorting 3400? I think 3400 is the target over here. You know, price should be moving up towards 3400. It's like 47 pips away from where we're currently sitting right now. But I wouldn't short 3400 just because it's 3400. I still think if it breaks above that area, then we should be moving up. Like I still want to see price move up, because on the daily time frame we could get up towards a like 3420, 3420, maybe, yeah, like 3420. I think even push further. This would definitely be well within reach. This resistance can be hit by the end of day. Easy. 470 pips, light work. But we need some volume in, you know, it's Thursday over here. Let's go look at our fundamentals. We got unemployment claims here, and we're expecting numbers to come out basically neutral. As you know, numbers have been coming out also neutral of late. Nothing too crazy over here. Nothing too crazy. So it's kind of like good for the dollar because it's less, but neutral, because the difference is not that much. So if we go on our currency strength meter, we can already see dollar is doing pretty poorly. Dollar is weak today. It could just be pricing in something though for the New York session. It could be a small little retracement, and then price could move up later. But, you know, we're going to see what happens there. Gold is moving upwards, though. I see no sells in London. Yeah, no sells right now. Unless it starts to break below that support. That 5-minute support. It'll break that 5-minute support then. But yeah, this week we definitely got, I think the last fundamentals are unemployment claims and core PCE price index for Freaky Friday. No. Do I trade EJ? No. No EJ for me, sir. Only GJ. Only GJ. But GJ, I'm kind of bored of GJ. People trade GJ? Do people still trade GJ? Why I feel like less and less people are trading GJ. Yeah, GJ, basically, GJ, man, it did us dirty for a while. Basically, no direction, low volume. You know, that's why for me, I at least want to start to see GJ above 200. Above this 200 mark, then maybe you can get a change in character of this pair. Yeah, GJ is a mess. Crazy year for GJ. Holy. I would have been slaughtered if this was the year that I chose to learn how to trade. Because when I started trading, I mainly focused on GJ. This would have been a very, very difficult year to trade GJ. What do you think of a swing sell if it breaks the low? Yeah, I think it should be good. Because the daily is still bearish. It's not trending, but at least you got daily in your favor in confluence. As well as this little grab over here. It's just like this bullish momentum just came out of nowhere. I was not expecting this. Man, this was insane. The way price moved up here. See on the fundamentals. Gold dips, eyes on PCE data. Gold dipped to around 33.80. Bounce on Thursday, retreating from a 2-week high as investors awaited fresh policy signals ahead of Friday's PCE price index, the Fed's preferred inflation gauge. Nevertheless, the metal held near record levels, supported by political and institutional uncertainty between the US administration and the Federal Reserve. See, Trump recently moved to dismiss Fed Governor Lisa Cook, but her lawyer vowed to challenge the decision in court, setting up a legal battle. Damn. Traders also increased bets on Fed easing, with markets pricing an 89% chance of a 25 basis point cut in September. So it looks like percentages are going up. Up from 82% a week earlier. That's the thing. That's a bullish exuberance that you have to be a bit cautious of on gold. I feel like the buyers really coming in. They're really coming in. So if you get these buy entries, I do sense a bit of bullish exuberance. Adding to the Dovish show, New York Fed President John Williams said a rate reduction was under consideration, echoing Powell's remarks at Jackson Hole. See, Asia demand stayed firm with China's net gold imports via Hong Kong surging 126% in July from June, more than doubling month on month. Okay. China's net gold imports have been surging here. Yeah, you see, getting some buys. You can see in the candles even on the daily time frames how candlesticks have just been moving up. Getting a bit more demand. So yeah, for sure, if I can get some buys, I would be definitely feeling more confident with the buys. It's funny thing though, because of late we've been getting these sells. I've lately been getting sells. I've been kind of looking for buys, but I'm not getting any buy signals during the times that I'm trading. Just getting like more sell signals. But I want to catch a buy. Gold just gonna keep going now for weeks. Yeah. I wanna catch a buy. It's that, you know, the issue is the sell comes first, and then what I've seen usually the sell comes first and then the buy comes second. That's kind of happened to me a few times now. What's your thought on German 40? Oh, German 40. Man, I don't trade German 40. I don't really like to look at German 40. Yeah, I don't really like to look at German 40. It's just not interesting to me. Maybe something like US 30, something else. See what GME is doing. Where's GME sitting at? 22 bucks? This thing, will it ever see 100 again? I doubt it. GME probably never gonna see 100 again. It's a roaring kitty. This was his last push over here. Man, that stream he did, I think had like 100,000+ people on that stream that he did. So Roaring Kitty is the guy that movie's made based off of Dumb Money. Bro came for one stream again after all these years after making his millions, then disappeared. But there's this one video of this guy who was recording Bitcoin at an insane price. I remember what is like $100. I think it just hit $100. And he was recording a video on YouTube that Bitcoin just hit $100. Man, and then he recorded a new video, but it looks like nothing changed for him. So I don't know what the guy did with his Bitcoin or if he was even invested in Bitcoin, but well, that's a damn shame. It's a pretty viral video on YouTube. Oh, gold looks like it wants to come down. Yeah, that would suck. Like, that would suck because it seemed like the dude didn't even cash out or anything because he made like another recent video in the same exact house and everything. Like nothing looked like it changed. But this was in 2013. Yeah, Bitcoin reacting to Bitcoin breaking $100.
Bitcoin is now up to $111. It's an all-time high, and it's continuing to rise. I've seen it break 3 times today. Went up to 110, and this is the highest that it's been. It's ridiculous.
Man, that's the perspective of all-time highs, because people always think like, oh, this is so high that you can short this, blah blah blah, but market can move way longer than you think. So you gotta get that thing of shorting all-time highs out of your head. I think it's never a good idea to short the market when it's moving in a certain direction, because it can just keep going in that direction. Man, this is $100. Bitcoin right now is at 100 and what is it, 15K? Dude, if this guy bought even one Bitcoin and held it, $100. Insane. Let's go on his channel over here. I should be seeing a Lamborghini, a yacht, a mansion. Yeah, this was uploaded like 7 months ago.
It's been a while since I posted anything.
Bro sold. He must have sold. He must have sold too early. Maybe forgot about it. But he's a legend. Nonetheless, well, I don't even like to think I had over 20. Yeah, Ricardo had, what, over 20 Bitcoin. A lot of people would have sold. It's true. It's like when you take a trade. You know how quick we are to always take our profits? It's like the same mentality, you know? Holding is so difficult. That's why whenever I analyze these other kind of things, you analyze to hold. Like literally, when you're getting involved in those types of things, you're not day trading them. You're like literally expecting these things to hold for a long time. So you forget about it. Just buy it, store it somewhere safe, and just forget about it. Because the more you're looking at it and how you see, the more you're looking at the charts and you see how price moves, you're going to feel more like you want to take it. But you should just invest in it and just forget about it. Forget about it like you don't even need the money. Thumbnail is diabolical. Well, it is unemployment claims. I think it makes sense. That's unlucky. Yes, man, super unlucky. Like even for a trade like this, most people would not hold even down towards that low. Like for the most part, I never hold my trades down to these lows. I would secure something even before. And that's always a good habit because you know that the market also has a nasty habit of reversing before you take your profits. And especially as a intraday trader, you're going to have a lot more situations like that happen. Comes super close to take profit, then reverses. It's sad because I bet some people bought it at 100, then everyone told them to get out and they did. That must have happened to a few people and now that they hate their friends. Crazy, huh? Then there's also that one dude who bought a pizza with a couple of Bitcoins. Most expensive pizza in the world. Shotgun entry on the closure below the 5-minute chart. Yeah, we got a candlestick close below, what is this, 33.94. Next candle is breaking the previous lows. Still a bit of a shotgun entry, but you know, it's like such a lame close this is. Such a small close. This close here is like 0.2 pips below that support. But yeah, it's starting to break. It needs to break through these wicks at least. I would suppose gold is due for some kind of a small retracement here because it's already moved upwards and it's already filled this range towards resistance. So now it's breaking below support to, you know, retrace. Because I also think about the people who got into buys over here. Market probably looking to come and retest their entries again on that little break and retest. I had Dogecoin also, those here easy to over. I had 500,000 coins, but I lost a wallet in one of my PCs. 1 minute consolidation looking good to come down if it breaks. Yep. And nice. You are actually quite invested on those cryptos. Holy. Yeah, but like storing it is the issue. It's like, where do you store it for all those years that you're not gonna lose it? Right? It can become like a little difficult unless you actually have to buy a safe. If I was gonna invest in something like that, I need like a proper safe, you know. And in that safe, you're never gonna forget about that safe because you know it's a big safe. You got all your important stuff in there, and then you put like a flash drive of your wallet and everything. But if you just store it on like a piece of paper or like you got a flash disk somewhere, man, you easily lose those things in the house, and especially over years. You bought ETH at $2, sold it at $5. You know, there's that aspect of selling early, and there's also the aspect of holding the bag. So that's the same thing that happened in GME. So I don't know what pain is worse, selling too early or holding the bag back to drawdown. Which one is worse, chat? Holding the bag or selling too early? Like, because if you hold the bag, you see all this profit and you think it can keep going up. Maybe at this time, man, you know, during these times, there's so much bullish, there's so much exuberance that people don't even consider drawdown. You know, at 120, people are even thinking 150, maybe even 200. You're not even thinking about this thing coming down. So you have it all like this and then to come down. Damn. I think the worst thing for me would be, I think holding the bag is pretty painful. It is pretty painful holding the bag for me, I think, because you see all this profit and then every day now you're in like misery because it's never going to go up there again. So you've already had a taste of the good life and then it gets taken away from you. You know, that's actually sounds pretty brutal. Then if you just sold early and be like, oh, damn, missed it. Imagine having a taste of it and then it gets taken away from you. It's like, you know, if I ask you a question, would you rather take 100? I can give you right now $100,000, correct? 100 bands in your pocket right now. Second option, I'm going to flip a coin. I'm going to flip a coin. If I flip that coin, you choose heads or tails, you're going to get 5 million. 5 mics. Which one are you taking, chat? Are you taking option A? Are you taking option B? Number 1 or 2? You could have $100,000 right now, no strings attached, or we can flip a coin. You guess heads or tails for $5 million. Which one would you choose? We got like A1. Someone said 5 milli. It will only make sense for you to flip the coin if you have more than $100,000 in your bank account. But if you have less than $100,000, you know, man, you gotta take the 100K. But you know, we got some gamblers here. Coin flip, you know, coin flip is 50-50. Yeah, if you got 100 bands, then the coin flip would make more sense. I do have more, that's fine. Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. $100K goes a long way. Can do a lot with 100K. Alright, let's remove this. Let's do this here. This is gonna become a no trade zone. Now, it didn't even break these lows. Look at this. Such a low volume here. It couldn't even break these lows. It stopped exactly at 33.93. I am kind of new with trading. What would you recommend for new people who wants to get into trading? Oh, I'd recommend you going to babypips.com. There's this really nice website there, and it's going to be less exciting than watching a strategy video on YouTube, but it's definitely quite nice to start learning. So you go and learn forex, you go here, start learning School of Pipology, and then you're gonna go through the course over here. You know, it's a pretty nice course, so at least you can understand everything. You know, it starts you from what is forex, how do you trade forex, blah blah blah, understanding how margin account works, forex brokers, types of charts, elementary, Japanese candlesticks, very important, Fibonacci, moving averages, pivot points, chart patterns, Fibonacci, Elliott wave theory, harmonics. You're gonna learn everything to get yourself a good rounded education, like if you were to go to school. But just the same way as going to school, you're not gonna use everything that you learned. You know, you're basically using almost very, like maybe such a small percent of everything you're gonna learn here, you're actually gonna use. But you know, the idea is you're getting a proper education, a well-rounded education. That's the idea. You know, so I think it's pretty good. Then you can also do graduation speech here in the end. And once you're done with this, now you're gonna be better equipped to to actually start watching other things. You know, you can join the mentorship, you can tune into the stream a bit more for psychology and a much more advanced level of trading. But definitely you gotta start there. Do I offer one-on-one mentorship? No, not anymore. Do I need to pay because I've tried to get into forex before but got scammed, so that's why I'm curious? Well, Baby Pips is free. You don't have to pay to go on Baby Pips. I used to make 10 to 15% a day. Now I stop at 1%. Nice. Yeah, that's much better for your psychology. Yaslin, what's good, fam? Hello, hello. Yasin. Yeah, just start there. I will tell you, it's not as fun as watching a YouTube video on strategies. I skipped that whole thing. I also got that suggested to me once, and I never went through it. But you know, I think it's a very nicely organized thing. You can do it yourself. You could definitely learn yourself, but you're kind of building your own curriculum then at that point. If you're going on YouTube University, then you got to build your own curriculum. So you got to see what really matters to you. Because some people are going to start here with strategy videos. And, you know, depending on your personality and how you structure yourself, some people are going to start from the basics. Can you explain the zone marked on the lower side? Yeah, this is where we'd be expecting price to go. If it breaks below support, here we'd be expecting price to fill this range. Like a 35 pip range. As you can see, like right now we're consolidating. There's no like real direction in the market. It looks like GJ here is having its corrective phases too. It's filling up these small ranges here on the left hand side. One from here to here, still coming down. Well, you know, like that's what I'm expecting. That's what I'll be expecting from gold. Similar thing like what's happening here on GJ. Even the pattern looks kind of the same. Got like this little fake out that happened before. One last push before the melt came in. So kind of like a similar thing I'll be expecting. Well, at the same time, you know, just be cautious because markets are not really trending right now. So we're just down 0.07%. With so far what we've seen as beautiful sell-offs during Asia and one pump here during the pre-London time. But as a whole, there's definitely like a bit more sellers on the daily candlestick as of now than there is buyers. MLA, thank you for the sub. Can you take a swing trades again? Oh, 200, 300 pips. Even the market condition is not even giving those types of swing entries. The swing entries of late don't even have such massive pips. But man, at some point when we introduce a swing entry models, like obviously there's a reason why we started using them. It's because the market had so much volume. Like literally candlesticks were pushing up like hundreds of pips. So, you know, that was a crazy time. Now it's kind of the volume overall is kind of like it's good medium volume, but it's slowing down a bit more. It's not as crazy. Like this range here is only about, you know, like 40 pips. One minute look like head and shoulder, break below, maybe can sell. Yeah, I think so. You got a small little head and shoulders here. Break below. Definitely a probability of a sell. And you know the thing about that is that the market hasn't yet moved. It's still sitting here. So the only thing that you could have made some profits so far, I guess, like actual moves, was this buys that happened pre-London. As the last extension that you saw. No extension now. You see markets moving sideways. Next time you see something like that, someone's getting paid. That's distribution, generally speaking. Generally speaking, that's when you're gonna see the next payout phase. So right now it's like waiting. Summer is over. Volume should pick up in the next 2 weeks. Actually, how's our summer months here? They got, that's a June, July. Yeah, pretty mid. Oh, July was pretty good though. That was a really good month in July. But June was just like last year June. June I did 11.20%, and then last year in June we also did about 13.52%. So kind of similar. Less than last year. Yes, sir. Owanda has trading sessions for free. I found helpful to start. Oh, nice. See if anything else happens here. It could actually give a pretty nice dump if you just start to see candlesticks melt. Like that. I think that's basically what happened in Asia session. Right here. So I see those candlesticks melt off. Beautiful little head and shoulders here. That's all it is just like some kind of confluence. Nice little accumulation break. Oh, that was such a good trade. Accumulation break on the right shoulder, break of the lows. Clean sell off. And price moved down, sideways, then again moved upwards. Moved upwards, bit of sideways, choppiness, bunch of choppiness. Then other entry models happening here on the fractal end. So it's like, you see how that whole move came down and then consolidated like that. So if you zoom in again, this is like that same move that happened here. Price came down and then corrected itself. Again, we pushed upwards. Another distribution into sideways movement. Expecting maybe like price can dump. Because if we're looking from a buy perspective, it's quite difficult for price to buy. In my opinion, just because there's a lot of resistance. There's so much clean range over here. At least to fill some of it up. You see like how we previously filled this range? Price came down, filled some of it. And we haven't yet gotten even a small fill of this area yet. So it's a pretty fresh zone that is for price to come down there. Always confused. But remember like that trade we took yesterday? Or rather that last trade? It was kind of like a very nice sell that we had over there. See our price carried support, resistance, beautiful sell-off. Got the last sell-off down there. Got the last sell-off. That was the next entry model. I just decided to take that next one. Because it was after missing this one, this was like, I think that was the last one. That was the last one because now the range was fully filled down towards 33.74. But this was such a clean move as well. The only thing I remember was that 30-minute SMAs were kind of against us, but structurally speaking, like it was a very nice move. You know, price came and corrected this area over here like a mirror. Beautiful. Lower time frame, clean traffic, boom, boom, boom. Nice. Came down. Consolidated, moved up, beautiful little liquidity grab, confluence, inverted head and shoulders. Very nice. See, with TFX concepts, man, you could be catching these moves yourself. You know, these moves happen. There's an abundance of moves in the market. Abundance of moves. So many moves. Also depends what time you're trading over there. Asia. Oh, you see someone caught some Asia sells. Really nice. Asia is just way too, it's too early. Like I can't trade Asia. It's just at a very awkward timing for me. Second trade, console breakout in 5 minutes, 28 pips secured, SL to B. Nice, very clean move. Look at this, price moved up here. Broke of the highs, consolidation. I think that was liquidity grab, confluence as well below here. So you got accumulation, manipulation, and that was a distribution up towards the resistance by 33.97 over there. Top of the range, break of the previous lows, clean range on the left. This is like a market fade entry on the 1 minute. Yeah, but this, man, whoever caught these buys, this was such a crazy buy. You know, candles just kept moving up. Look at how parabolic this is. And a pretty decent stop loss here. You also got a small little liquidity grab situation that happened there as well. Nice little confluence. And then clean range on the left-hand side. Yeah, that whole region was nice. A reversal confirmation signal because I took my sell here. I took my sell here and I took my profits. It's just about tapped my TP over here. And then price started to move up. So this was like reversal confirmation. Came down, boom, 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 liquidity grab, dun, 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 then moved upwards. So you're gonna see this kind of repetitiveness in the market. It's always kind of like repeating over and over and over again. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. But it's like every trade has a probability of it being a winning trade or a losing trade. But it's always on repeat. It's a nice little sell-off here too. Create a support, beautiful range. What time frame is this? 5 minute. Yeah, I say it's like literally the same thing, chat. Look, this guy's doing on a 5 minute time frame. Price moved down. The same little liquidity grab situation that happened down here. See how close those wicks are? I don't know if it continued. I think maybe it pushed down a bit further, but and then that was a candlestick that reflipped, closed above resistance, and then shot up. And then you got the market fade entry to the downside. It's literally the same thing that happened here. Price came down. This on the 1 minute consolidation, liquidity grab. Price moved up. Then there's a small little market fade that happened over there too. But you see, it's like the same thing, but obviously the market will never print it like exactly the same. You know, they say the market has a specific, it's like a fingerprint. You know, the market has a fingerprint, so it's never the same. It looks the same, but apparently the market has never created the same structure like that. It's never, like every single moment in the market is unique, like a zebra stripes. So it looks the same, but it's not the same. It's not exactly the same. Like, you know, because people like textbook things. It looks the same. This is a market fade, but obviously there's small differences within the whole general PA. It happens over and over again, but it wouldn't happen the same exact way. It's kind of paradoxical actually if you think about it, because it does happen the same way, but not really. So that's why, you know, that's why you can't like outsmart the market. That's why, you know, the more you try and figure the market out, the more you're going to lose money. You got to like overthink things a lot. That sell this morning was a BE for me. Just missed my TP. Oh, that's what was a BE for you? Oh, just missed your TP. Yeah, this sell was like, what was it? Yeah, I think that was the point it started reversing. Once it hit this, and then it started moving up. That was our liquidity grab, I think, on the 1 minute time frame. Right over there. That was that last wick. Let's see what this is. NY session, gold long. Break of 1 minute consolidation, bottom of 5 minute consolidation, break of previous highs, clean range on the left to fill. SMA confluence, took profits at 75% mark. Very clean. That was the one we spoke about with the liquidity grab, inverted head and shoulders, SMA confluence. Tetra, me and you are similar to zebras. Indeed we are. I personally feel like I'm black with white stripes, but sometimes I catch a glimpse of myself and wonder, am I white with black stripes? You feel me? Yeah, I feel you. You know, for me, it's like in some countries I'm considered black. In some countries I'm considered white, like a zebra. Some people think I'm Brazilian. Some people think I'm this and that. Yeah, you know, there's this photo that's been made of two people, the blackest person and the whitest person in the world, and it's funny because they're both black. The blackest person and the whitest person are both black people. Oh yeah, that's the thing about being mixed race. A lot of confusion sometimes, but I do like it. I do like it. I enjoy it. Because people always wonder. In South Africa, yeah, exactly. And you see, in South Africa, then they have their own thingy. They call them like coloreds. Mixed race around the world, and you know, in South Africa, they're called colored. But you know, colored is not it's not a bad term. Like if you call someone colored in America, then you're gonna get into a fight with somebody. But in South Africa, it's actually like normal to call somebody colored. What your confidence level that I might take out the Asia high before moving down? Asia high, you got Asia highs by oh, just basically 3400. I think like it won't be a taking out of Asia highs, it will just be like a continuation. Okay, we will be taking Asia highs, but definitely I think if we come up there, we're just gonna move upwards for the rest of the day, because the daily candlestick just, you know, it's literally about a flip. 0.04%. Get that daily flip in, and then probably off to the races at that point. And the awesome thing is that we're going to be trading above 3400. You know, that's what I'm thinking. By the end of the day, we're going to be above 3400. So when we start taking trades tomorrow, most likely going to be above that 3400 mark, and then we can end off the week here above 3400, which makes a lot of sense. Like, given everything that's been happening in the economy and how we're expecting prices to move on gold with a dovish dollar, it makes a lot of sense that the weekly can close above 4400, and then next week we continue moving up again. So yes sir, that is what I believe markets are looking towards today. And any sort of sells, those are like scalps. I definitely, if I pick a direction, I'm looking more at buys. You see, like this thing is about to flip here. Negative 0.01%. Daily is just about to be a doji candle over there. Just need to push up about 5 more pips. Daily flip. It's coming really close. Really close. That's why I mean, like, when you can see these buyers, when they come in, they just come in like aggressively. You can literally feel the buyers here in the market. Look at this small little liquidity grab situation that happened below here. Candlestick reflip. Hey, FX Brainiac. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, daily's flipping. Daily's flipping. There's daily flip. 0.01%. Blah, Goldie. You know, the thing is, like, it's moving, but the only way you can catch these buys is based off accumulation breakouts. Because you got way too much resistance here on the left-hand side to be taking trades off any other time frames. See, like 30-minute. You got a little bit of clean range on the 30-minute. Coming towards, like, resistance over here. Yeah, we got pretty strong supply zone. Bunch of rejection wicks. Higher time frame definitely has a lot of heavy lifting to do to get above those levels. Let's even look at the 4-hour. Even the 4-hour looks pretty sketchy over there. Until we at least start breaking above like 3407, then you got some clean range above those wicks. So every kind of buy here, you're just really expecting volume to push through it, you know? It's like 407, which is a pretty decent volume time. We just got the London Open. London Open is accumulating orders over here. Getting ready maybe for a pop upwards. The sells look technically speaking cleaner, but the sentiments are leaning more towards the buy side. Been developing a strat recently and it looks horrible, but so far in backtesting, a small lot size is profitable. No, I'm just wondering if you made videos of why you're placing your yellow lines and gray boxes. No, it's just to show the clean range. See, you got like support over there, and you got another support down here. That's all that it is. Nothing more to it. I wish it come down first. We have got for sure the sells and buys now. I have nothing. You don't even need to draw these lines. You know, this is just for so you can see, but honestly, you don't really need to draw these lines. We just draw them because we're on stream, but you can see it. You can see the just with the naked charts, the key levels. And sometimes I actually find it more enjoyable just trading without having any sort of analysis. And then you can just like look at the way candlesticks are behaving. It kind of removes the bias as well. And maybe even help you like to spot certain things out that you would not see if you have these lines on here. Because if you've got the lines on, obviously your mind is already geared towards looking at your analysis. You have already some kind of a bias. But if you remove it, you kind of look at what the candlesticks are doing. You focus more on candlesticks, which is good. You have a more clear perspective. But you know, for demonstration purposes, we're just gonna draw some lines here. If it keep coming down now, I'm trying to decide if that is a 1 minute fake out. And that's why you never also sell the head and shoulders, because you see if someone took like a head and shoulders here, that looked pretty good already, or maybe even here, and then it just keeps without any confirmations. You can't trade just head and shoulders. You know, we need to at least have some kind of confirmations below that support level over there. But you know, if you take a sell, you got to do it with a lot of caution because of the way market is moving right now. Gold futures hold at higher prices on safe haven demand. Let's see, gold futures trade sideways, holding firm at higher prices. Federal Reserve independence, all right. Precious metal is finding support on investors' unease over Fed developments. Pretty much the same things back and forth. Gold dips, eyes on PCE data. You know, a reason I think the sells could play though is maybe just because we have news today. We got news unemployment claims, so markets tend to like to consolidate towards like New York Open. Gold's getting hard to trade these days. Yeah, it's got a funny characteristic, especially this week. This week has been interesting. Nice little accumulation though. It's starting to look pretty good, structurally speaking, for that correction. Daily would be in your favor in confluence. I think the hourly too. Hourly would be bearish. All time frames would be bearish except like the 4 hour. 4 hour still bullish. Got about 1 hour 48 minutes for 4 hour close. It just tapped into a 4 hour resistance as well by 33.96. That's the daily flip. There was a time back when Asia session only moved bullish every day for like 2 weeks, around 300, 400 pips. Yeah, I remember like there was a time when GJ used to do that. When GJ just used to move bullish. But wait, those days I used to buy and go to sleep with guarantee. Yeah, I remember that. But I remember that time when Asia was just moving up. That's true. Like, you just buy. That's what we even used to say. Like, just buy the Asia. We even took, I think even during one of those times, we just took a buy during the London Open, and that was the longest stream. I took a buy during London Open. I think the stream was like 9 hours long, because not London Open, Asia Market Open. Market Open. Then I went to sleep, and then that position was running all the way, and then we started stream, and then, you know, started stream, and, you know, we took some profits because we got the I think it was a New York session push up, took some profits, and then markets kind of died after that. But that was the idea. The idea was like, if you see it happening over and over again, you know, you're gonna start executing. It's like when you're paper trading, you're gonna see it happen over and over, and then you're gonna start executing. You know, after like 1 month, 2 months of seeing something happen over and over again. And that's when you're building a strategy. And then you also get those little patterns happen in the market. That's what I show you. Like, my biggest trade to date here was a 6% trade, and it was mainly due to that repeatable pattern that we saw. Like, price was just buying at this certain time, so, you know, we ended up taking a buy, and then this time I just held it for a bit longer. So don't sleep on that. You know, those are patterns in the market. You gotta act when you see it, so you don't come in too late. You know, it's crazy because sometimes it happens so efficiently that you even get these moves happen at the same time. Like, 2 of those moves or those buys happen at the same time. They're like 2%, and then the next one I decided to hold. It happened like maybe 20 minutes afterwards. That was like 6%. So yeah, the market can definitely be predictable. It definitely can give you very, very beautiful trades. Would love to know what made you get into trading. Was it a difficult journey? Yes, I would not recommend trading even to my friends. Even if they want to trade, I just say, you know, if you're not already doing it, then, you know, you don't gotta do it. You gotta do it only if you really want to do it. You know, only if you really want to do it. It's the hardest way to make easy money. So I would say, just for me, what got me into trading was the gamification of it. I was already kind of like into the whole entrepreneurial space, but I just did not know what I wanted to do. I always knew I wanted to open some kind of business or do something entrepreneurial. So then, you know, I came across trading on YouTube one day. That was December 2019, during Christmas holidays. And yeah, I saw this guy, looked pretty normal guy over here, was making a lot of money. You know, I was like, man, this guy doesn't look like he's doing any rocket science here. Very, very simple, normal guy. So like, man, if he can do it, then I think I can do it as well. Because I experimented with other things like, you know, drop shipping. I used to do a bit of drop shipping, but I was not really into drop shipping. You know, I was not really into it too much. Made some money, but overall, it was not really profitable with drop shipping. It's kind of difficult. So, you know, I think trading was the next thing that came across. Because you see, when you're on this journey of entrepreneurship, you're always trying new things, correct? You're always trying and failing. So the thing with trading is, I had a friend already in university who was doing it. He was making a lot of money, whilst us were looking for part-time jobs. You know, we're considering working at bars and that sort of thing. This guy was trading. And he was like buying himself a nice car as well. And he was also a foreigner in the country. He was international student. And we're like, damn, how is this guy making so much money? You know, we're here looking for these bar jobs, and this guy is making all this money. And I remember one time in class, he showed me his MetaTrader. I was like, you know, I looked at it, but as everybody looks at charts for the first time, you don't really know. Imagine when you explain trading to your friends. You know, it's the same thing. You can show them this chart, you can show them these things, but they never really know. You don't know. You just look at it and you're like, you know, okay, like, interesting. You know, you're like, nowadays a lot more people know. Nowadays, a lot of my friends and acquaintances, when I meet up with them, they're like, oh, you know, I'm into trading. I do this and do that. It's a lot more popular now. But I think for majority people, they would not know. And then I remembered this day, man, I saw a YouTube video and I remembered this guy. I was like, okay, so I already know somebody in this field. So I started trading and I started communicating with him a bit more. And then it becomes real. You know, like when you know somebody who's doing it, it feels more real. So I think that's what motivated me, is that I actually knew somebody in real life doing this. And I kind of looked up to him for some time, you know. It makes it more real. The problem is, a lot of us, we don't have that person that in real life is actually doing it. So we just kind of like see what we see on social media. But you know, it's real. It's still in the sell. You gotta wait for like price to break below 33.93. Just needs to get through those wicks at least to increase the probability that it can push. It's such an annoying place to be, because you know, when the price comes to these levels, they're so like precise. You know, it's so precise. Look at this. It's only here, not even 0.1 pip. It's literally just on that mark. It's like learning a new language. Yeah, exactly. It is. It is definitely like learning a new language. My brother tried to watch my stream one time with his wife, and they looked at each other and they said, "Do you understand what he's saying?" And the both said no. It's like a new language. Like, what the hell is this guy talking about? For us, it seems normal. But most people will not understand what the hell you're saying. Hi, bro. It's long time after seeing you. Hey, what's up, Vishu? I also have one question. Shoot, brother, shoot. Did you do paid ads? Paid ads for dropshipping? Yes. Yeah, I did paid ads. I remember watching a trading video in Japanese. I didn't understand what he was saying, but I understood what he was drawing on the charts. Amazing. Yeah, you see? You get like, it's a visual thing. Trading is a visual thing. It's like even what we have on the charts right now, I think if you have a bit of experience with trading, it should be pretty straightforward what the perspective here is. Even if you're watching and you don't understand English and you're just watching it, I think it should be kind of clear what the perspective here is. You know, we only have like 3 lines on the chart. You clearly see markets consolidating. We had this previous move upwards and we're starting to reject 33.93. But below that level, there's room, the space below that level. Now you got no trade zone. Yeah, so the first time I watched your stream, Vic, I was like, what the F is going on here? Then you did the Bumbaclat sound and I was like, this guy's fun. So I stuck around. Then I started click. Oh, nice. Awesome, man. I should use that more. I had a very basic understanding, but no jargon. That is why it was confusing. It gets easier with time. But it definitely takes time. Because the way you look at market in year 1 is so different from how you look at it in let's say your year 3. Your 3rd year. So different. Year 1 is kind of the figuring out phase. Trying every single thing under the sun. You know, year 2 is kind of like, okay, now you're getting more into your refinements, generally speaking. And then year 3 is when you should have already formed some kind of like character. You built your edge almost, like it's a more solidified edge. Just, you know, generally speaking. Some people learn faster, some people take longer. But in any case, by year 3, you'll already have like definitely some solid foundations of sort. Hopefully. My first profitable trading month is August, 2 years. Oh, nice. It feels good. It's worth it. When you get your first profitable month, you don't even care about how much time that you spend into learning the craft. Like, it was all worth it for that. Just that small moment of success just makes it so much more worth it, because now you're probably at a point where you can replicate that. You know, you can replicate it, and it's worth the journey. But even getting to that point is difficult because a lot of people will quit before they get to that point. So, you know, that's very nice. Do you still do dropshipping now? No, dropshipping is too expensive. Like, I don't like the idea of paying for ads. You know, with dropshipping, you gotta spend so much money on ads. It's like, and you gotta have like different strategies, and you gotta be, man, it is just not my thing. You know, I think the barrier to entry it can be quite expensive, the barrier to entry for that, when it comes to paying for ads. Unless you got a small scale, and man, there's a lot to consider. Like, because you're dealing with people, and you know, people sometimes return certain things, and you know, you can lose money with such things like that. And man, it's a lot of hustle. So you really gotta love dropshipping to keep doing it. There's good money in it though. This guy who does dropshipping, he does it at an insane level, like spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on ads. But you know, you can have pretty nice months. You can make $1 million a month. You make like $1 million a month, $1 million plus a month. But I don't know if it's real or if it's just like a lifestyle guru. But you know, it's quite a popular guy in the dropshipping industry. Samuel Aduha recently got out of prison. Yeah, but their story is pretty. It's pretty. I think they're from the Netherlands. But if you see their story, this is like a very nice progression that they had with dropshipping. Let me see, where is his? And it all starts with the vision, you know. If you get yourself like a vision board and you have a plan and you write, okay, you know, this month I made $500. Next month I want to try and make $1,000. And you have like a vision board with the things that you're trying to achieve. And man, that's always been the way to go. Always put yourself a vision board, and that you have like a kind of goal that you're working towards. So for me, it was always putting up vision boards of MetaTrader results. Like, I want to get these results. I want to get to this level where I'm getting like, you know, $1,000 days, $500 days. And you just slowly but surely start grinding your way up there from like $5 days, $10 days, $50 days. Don't sleep on visualization, chat. You gotta manifest the life that you want. It's real. I can tell you, that's one thing that changed my life. Definitely was that book, The Secret, and visualization. Was he dropshipping drugs? Those guys make more money from courses than the business itself. I can easily open a business and using. Yeah, you know, that's why he was actually put in jail for, apparently. Like, they were having a party, and then I guess There was a girl in that party who went and snitched to the cops that there were drugs in the house. Man, crazy. Crazy. Then they got caught in Dubai, of all places. I don't even know how they got out. Isn't Dubai supposed to be very strict on those things? No idea, but you know, money talks, man. Money talks at the end of the day. Because if you're a brokey, he would most likely still be in there. But once I show the number, yeah, exactly. That's what they do. You know, that's why they say the rich get richer, is because it's very easy for someone to rent somebody's or to use daddy's Lamborghini and then sell courses. You know, because like the thing is that you can have zero skill, but if you show somebody something nice, they'll believe that you can do it. That's why they say the rich get richer. So you gotta be very careful when it comes to such things like that. You want to focus more in life, but anything is just a skill. Just see if the skill makes sense. If you know, like this method, this strategy, this whole concept thing, like if it's actually making some kind of good sense. That's why for me, man, I want you to take me, guys, at my value. I don't show anything, and I used to, but then I stopped doing that because I realized how dumb it was. I literally used to do that, all that dumb shit. Literally, I would show withdrawals, money, going to these places, going to forex bureaus, foreign bureaus, withdrawing my money, showed a few cars, holiday. I used to do all of this dumb shit, but then at some point I'm just like, man, if people are gonna follow me, they're gonna follow me based off of my value, you know, first, and then maybe that stuff will come in again later on. But first you gotta build like a reputation of giving solid value, and then, you know, then the rest can come later. The rest can come later, if it comes, if you want to show it. But it's not important. Yeah, but this money isn't much in terms of... Oh, Dubai wealth? Yeah, crazy. Dubai wealth is on another level. It's the hardest path, you know, it's the hardest path to show it like with value. The easiest path is just to show a car. If I showed a car today, I'll probably have a lot more subscribers, a lot more of these things. But you know, that's not the idea. The idea here is not to do that, because I make more than enough from trading. I make a very comfortable living from trading. I don't need to do all that extra stuff. Man, but gold, GJ looks like it wants to push up here. There's about 11.5 pip range. Small little accumulation as well. Little sideways movement. Goldie is still cooking up, getting ready. Looks like he wants to drop. Kind of similar thing that happened. Similar thing that happened over here. Accumulated and then dropped. Yeah, accumulating and then dropped. But usually like this type of accumulation for me looks more of like it's resisting the drop, to be honest, because you got a few wicks over here. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe like 6, 7 rejection wicks. Because it's playing off the idea of bullish exuberance that we are anticipating in the market, and we're right below 3,400. You know, this level right here is like a magnet for price. We just have to push up only like 39.7 pips to get towards like 3,400. Would you not consider taking one-to-one scalps? There was some good opportunities on the 5-minute. Man, right now there's nothing. Look at this. It's just moving sideways. Where can you get some scalps here? Either if you're just getting sells by support, and I mean buys by support and sells by resistance. You can't do anything. There hasn't been distribution yet. Yeah, the weird thing is price rejecting upside down. All right, Vishu. Where's your question? Answer my question. What question? My problem is like when I win, I in strict, but when I lose in strict. Oh, and sometimes I feel this is not for me, so any solid solution? Oh, you're losing and winning in streaks. I mean, it depends on your strategy, because look at this, man. You can have like, it depends on how you strategy. So look, if you're winning in streaks and losing in streaks and you're still at the same place, maybe look at your winning streaks and see how far price actually pushes. How far price pushes. Maybe you can leverage or maximize your gains a bit more from those winning streaks by holding your trade a bit longer. You know, and if you're losing and winning in streaks, that's quite interesting. Because if you get into a losing streak, maybe you can play with the risk a bit and start to see how you can reduce your risk. You know, you might be doing something there that you also don't fully understand. So if you're getting winning and losing streaks, you can take advantage of that. It's the same way as counting cards. You know, when you're counting cards, you get like in streaks. So if you're getting like high numbers, you're going to put more money on the table. You know, you get a streak of high numbers. And then when it's low numbers, you're going to have a higher probability of a streak of low numbers. So you take off the risk. So whatever it is that you're doing, then you can look into how you can take advantage of that. Because you might have built a system that you don't fully understand if it's coming in streaks. So just keep it like that and see how you can leverage the winning and minimize losses on the losing streaks. Your strategy is different. It's very difficult to give advice when you don't even know your strategy, when I don't even know how you trade, you don't even send charts in here. Let's see, second trade, buy on gold, 4-hour time frame support respected, entry on the 15, retracement on previous resistance, TP set on the previous resistance, down for the day. So was a 5-minute chart? Oh, 5-minute chart. Was a second trade, buy and go, 4-hour time frame support rejected. Ah, there's a higher time frame zone. Entry on the 15, retracement on previous resistance. Oh, okay. Well, you're definitely on the right side. You're definitely on the right side of the market. Because price is moving up. You know, price has been moving up today. That's what I've been thinking ever since this bull run that we got on the 1 minute over here. Because that looked a bit odd. Like that volume really came out of nowhere. So I'm like, okay, so this must be that bullish exuberance coming back in. See, that volume looked very odd. Right now it's accumulating. It still looks like it wants to continue flowing upwards. Do you have a bullish bias on gold? Yeah, that's what I'm feeling the sentiments are. The sentiments are bullish. Whereas that's a funny thing I've been saying. Of late, the market has been giving me sell signals, although I've been predominantly looking for buy positions. But I've just been getting sell signals. And then it always gives me the last sell before price starts to move up again. But definitely looking more at buys. Trading really F's with your psychology, man. I used to hold bad trades way too long, ignoring my sell. It says I would TP on winning trades way too early. Now I do the opposite, hold good trades longer. Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, it's because, you know, taking a loss is like, it's like a blow to the ego. So sometimes we don't want to take the loss. And that's what makes us keep holding those dumb shit trades. You know, because we don't want our ego to be affected by losing. But you know, it's part of the game. You know, if you take a loss, just accept the loss, because the faster you accept it, it's like the quicker you can move on to the next thing. For me, it's always nice that if I take a trade, I want to know as fast as possible if it's a winning trade or a losing trade. You know, that way you can just move over to the next thing. The worst trades are the ones which take too long to play out. They're really emotionally draining. You know? As much as you think that you're stoic and that you can control your emotions, being stuck in a trade, especially for mentality of a scalper, someone who likes to scalp the market, it's a horrible experience. Like, even though you're patient, it's still draining, because you know this is time you would have already figured out if it's a winning trade or not, so you can quickly now start preparing for the next move. You know, like that's why I said even yesterday on stream when these sells were happening, for a scalper this is a pretty big move that was pushing. So it can also be emotionally draining to see that you're potentially missing a move. You know, so if the move was happening and you didn't execute because of fear, it can be emotionally draining to still be on the charts and then watch the move happen. That's why it's really important when you're coming onto the charts and you're ready to execute. The moment you start to see your entry confirmations, you must take that trade. You know, you don't want to put yourself in a situation like that where it's like now you feel bad for missing a move that you should have executed on. Like, just get comfortable with jumping in. You know, if you know what you're doing and you're confident about the trades, just get comfortable with jumping in. Don't second guess yourself too much. See, that's a whole idea behind some of these videos we post on the channel, is to show you that perspective as well of how to just get comfortable with jumping in. You know, just get comfortable with jumping in. You see it, just take it. Because those are usually the best trades, the ones where you're not gonna overthink it too much. Man, but Goldie is skyrocketing. You see what I'm saying? Like 3400 magnet right here. That's what I mean. Like, this is bullish exuberance I've been seeing since the pre-London session, ever since that 1 minute. 1 minute skyrocketed up like this. And it's just done a small little accumulation and a breakout over here. So you see how you had like levels of resistance on the left hand side? So that's like a volume. This is a volume based play. So you see markets typically, we mentioned this quite a bit, consolidate, especially when they're planning on breaking key levels. It's like it's getting volume in it so it can continue moving. This is like the bus stop. Remember I said like there's no moves that happen yet? No one's getting paid. Now people are getting paid. You understand? Like now people are getting paid. Because now you're starting to see the distribution. And then that cycle is going to repeat itself. You're going to have the same cycle repeat itself and then distribute. So this is not the point now where you're thinking, oh, should we buy, sir? Buy, sir. It's a point where you should have already been in a buy. Maybe at the break of the highs here. Stop loss within the range. Expecting it to continue moving up to like 3400 magnet over there. And that's why it's important to wait for wicks to break as well. Because you see in this scenario, it didn't break the lows by 33.93. It didn't break the lows. It instead broke the highs by 33.97. Is 4 years of losses time to give up? No, I think you just gotta like keep going. You know, some people, it takes longer for some people, man. Like that's just the way life is. You know, Denzel Washington wasn't a famous actor until he was well in his mid-30s. You know, you got Steve Harvey was not a famous guy till he was also in his like mid-30s. This guy's been doing it for like so long until they found success. You know, for the most part, Steve Harvey was basically homeless. That guy. So I think the journey is just different from some people. Like, you know, Tory Trades, a lot of people know Tory Trades. She was not profitable for like, you know, 5 years. I think it took her like 5 or 6 years. So you must just keep pushing forward. Maybe you just need a change of just always experimenting with change of perspective. I think really helps. So you don't feel like you're getting stuck, but somehow keeping things somewhat fresh in a sense. So it's not just a repetitive thing, because they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So sometimes you gotta like really think about what to let go so you can bring in new things into your life. Just keeping it fresh. I've recently come upon your channel. Any videos you recommend I should watch within your YouTube channel? I would say those videos go onto the Gold Trading Masterclass playlist. And I feel like here you can find a really good a really good playlist to watch. Gold trading masterclass right over here. Yeah, the last simulation. We're gonna do a simulation this weekend in the mentorship. But the last simulation we did on YouTube, man, this was such an awesome simulation. It was a really nice, because even if you watch this simulation here, you're gonna already understand like a pretty good idea of how that we look at markets. If you watch the most recent simulation. Whoa, gold is running.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Yeah, we just tapped 3,400. 3,400 has been smashed. Peter Chop, thank you for the sub. Someone talked about selling 3,400. Did you take your sell here? Look at that, zero drawdown, 3,400. But yeah, it was just at 3,400 now. Like the daily's got a lot of legs to move up. And so I'm still anticipating that by the end of the day, I would not be surprised to see something like 3,420, but up towards that resistance is very possible. This is the bullish exuberance. This is when it started. It started from Powell on last week, Friday. This was the kick, the thing that's going to kickstart the all-time highs on gold. So you see people already getting into their positions. A lot of buying on gold. Oh, look at that beautiful reaction. Exactly at 3,400. Man, what a magnet that was. What do you do when caught in a bad trade? What do you do? Sometimes the market gives you a luxury of reducing risk. Sometimes it doesn't. You know, like the thing is, like if you get caught in a fake out, there's very little you can do in a fake out. You know, there's almost nothing you can do because it's called a fake out. You know, sometimes the only way you can avoid a fake out is maybe if price starts to come against you, that's already been in profit, starts to come against you quickly. Maybe you can sort of anticipate that it's a fake out. But if price gives you like some kind of structure, let's say if you take a buy here and it starts to have a hard time to move up, you see, this is how your trades usually should play out. They should always like somewhat, especially if you're, you know, intraday trader like this, like you trade like these types of moves, like, you know, these little quick in and out positions. Trades, usually good trades go in your favor, like almost immediately. They give you very little resistance. So the moment you get caught in a bad trade, for me, a bad trade is usually the ones which take long. So when it does this and then it starts to like hover around that area, that's like for me a bad trade. And then during those times, you got to reduce your risk. You got to like find a way to lose less. If you get your stop loss down here, you got to find a way to reduce your stop loss even a bit more. That's a bad trade. Because you're going to see most of these good trades, they just go up. You see that why would this price action just move up like this? Because it's a good trade. You know, it's a good trade. Price is accumulating over here and it broke the highs. A lot of people are looking at 3,400. You see that little psychological mark over there. Then you get some profit taking from the market. So this is like a good trade. It's a good trade. It's in line with the sentiments. Went straight into profit. It's just gonna keep moving up to create some more PA. Maybe on the 1 minute. Remember, you never really miss a move. Like if price wants to continue moving up, what's gonna happen is it's gonna create structure for you on the 1 minute, and then it's gonna keep pushing upwards. Because also markets don't always move in just one direction immediately. it like has these pauses in there. The reason it has these pauses is because obviously people are profit taking as well. So you have these little moves, you got some profit taking, a little bit of a setup again, and then you get like the continuation. So you never feel really bad about missing these moves. There's like an abundance of these moves in the market. You know, so many of these moves. Just like we spoke about yesterday. Miss a sell, could have caught this next one down over here. Same accumulation break to the downside. That's what I caught. And hey, if you watched that video, remember what I said? Still don't feel bad. Even if you missed that move, let me show you exactly what happened. Let me show you exactly what happened. So this whole stream was about not feeling bad about missing moves. This whole video over here. And what I was saying is, look, even if you miss this one, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Yeah, see, that's what I was saying. Even if you miss this one, the next one is just around the corner. So you see what happened here? What ended up happening was price did the same thing where it consolidated. Then you wait for entry confirmations, whether that's going to be a sell or a buy. So what we saw price do is it came down, it consolidated. You see, same thing, consolidated, and then it gives you the buy. There's so many moves in the market. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to beat yourself up and play the victim. Oh, that you missed a move. You know, the next move is just around the corner. You see, we don't even know it, but all we do is like believe in our system. We visualize what should be happening next, what the potential will be, and then you just have to wait at that point. Wait for the next turn. Because, you know, everybody's going to have a turn over here. So, you know, the sellers had a turn and price had corrected that move for the sellers. And now you see the buyers had a turn. And then price had corrected that move. Sell, you got to buy. They got one more sell over here as well. Another sell over here. So a bunch of you are feeling FOMO right now, maybe because price is moving up and you didn't do anything. You gotta see, like, price can even just keep moving up here at this point. I don't see any re-entry confirmations though. That just looked like a V-shaped continuation on the 1 minute. Just came down, retraced to continue pushing upwards. Had an impulsive sell, got out at BE. Oh man, yeah, that's a sells. The sells, you gotta be very cautious. That's why I've been like, I'm looking at this and the market is always giving me a situation like this. Where it's like, I see a sell idea, but I want the buy. So you gotta be very cautious about those sells. You see this previous sells here? Been kind of choppy, but that's what the market's been giving me. So I've been getting like win, loss, break even. Now we got 2 W's over here. But what I really want are these buys, man. Buys are really nice. But that was an accumulation breakout that happened here though. So it did actually give a buy entry confirmation. That's the daily flip. 0.11 now percent. We're not yet trending, but we definitely do have some kind of bias here today. Or like, let's say some kind of sentiment, but no trend yet. 0.10%. BTC is looking sexy right now. What's BTC? Oh, Bitcoin is up 1.70%. Yeah, Bitcoin's moving here today. I guess this is normal. This is normal for Bitcoin to be already up 1%. Because if you compare these previous candles, it's like huge candles here. This is like 4%. This day here was like, it pushed down like 4.27%. So Bitcoin still is quite early over here. Bitcoin has legs to move up for the day. You know, it could fill this range on the left-hand side because now this becomes like some kind of like a market fade over here in Bitcoin. Possible liquidity grab situation on the daily rebreak of the highs to keep pushing up to fill up this range. Oh, on the left hand side. Yeah, but man, Goldie right now, it just wants to keep running. Finally getting through those wicks. Where we at the daily? Still got to move up a bit towards those daily highs. Man, look at this. Gold has an agenda today. You know, it pushed up once and then consolidated. Pushed up again, consolidated, pushed up again, probably going to consolidate and then continue to push up like this. Like just gradually. So you see these little sideways? These are like the little pit stops that price makes before it has a rallies. Yeah, like a pit stop, rally, pit stop, rally. So, you know, this for me makes the most sense. Like if we're talking about just foundational market perspectives, right? For me, this makes the most sense. That this is a period where people are getting in and that's the market paying them out. And then it happens again. Because 90% of the time markets are not moving. Correct? We're saying markets consolidate. As you can see, most of it is consolidation. Most of it is all consolidation. And then you have the distribution, which is a small piece of it. Like success is this small. But you know, grinding, working hard, waiting is all of this. And then success is always like such a small piece of it. It's like when you go and be a chef somewhere, it takes so long to make that meal. But you can eat it up in like a couple of minutes. But it takes so long to make it. You might have said, but you are not trading London at the minute because it is not trending yet. Yes, just trying to thought. Yeah, exactly. Because it's not for me trending. I've been only waiting for London to trend to get my trades. But it was really nice sentiment though. Really nice sentimental bias for those buys. So you don't have any sort of fundamentals that came out. Let's go on live news. I'm chilling. China aims to cut steel output. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, there's no fundamentals. There's no like flash news or anything of the sort. Like this is just technicals. Do you trade Asia or NY session? No, I don't trade Asia. Only Asia I trade is pre-London. And only NY I trade is pre-New York. Thumbnail and smoke today. Chat, this is not a new thumbnail. We have used this thumbnail before. So you see, we got unemployment claims today. So we got some homeless people over here. Some homeless AIs. And then you got me over here. And we're about to trade. We're about to trade the unemployment claims. It's not funny. But you know, the good thing is unemployment claims is coming out neutral. So I think that's a good thing. That it's most likely not gonna rise. And the dollar is not gonna have much of an effect. I don't think unemployment claims are gonna have much of an effect on PA today, to be honest. The core PC price index tomorrow is gonna be the main thing. But it looks like they're planning on keeping it neutral as well at 0.3%. Did you see that Will Smith concert? Man, Will Smith was using AI. He had an AI audience. You got like some real people in the audience, and then he had some AI people in the audience. You can't even believe what you see anymore on social media. With AI, like anything is possible. Did you see how we made Powell dance on our short over here? We got the AI Powell. Yeah, these September rate cuts are gonna be crazy because that's gonna be the start of the bull run on September 17th. That's gonna be the start of the bull run. Unless it's already started now. Because you already see this bullish exuberance. It could have already started already. Because institutions need to be in positions. They can't wait for September 17th. They're already pricing in September 17th. You can see in the candles. You see, this is why I say you don't need anything else but candlesticks. You can see the footprint on the candles. And then the best way to read volume is when you follow the fundamentals. Follow the fundamentals. Forget about all this stuff because every moment in the market's unique. Everything that happened back there, it doesn't really matter anymore. You know, because we're looking at news, the most recent news. That's what's affecting markets. So that's when Powell came in, and now you're gonna see the footprint already. So you can read volume like this. You don't need anything else. It's just understanding that overall context. Man, this is something that I wish I knew. I feel like if I knew this earlier on, my journey would have even more exponentially increased if I knew this earlier on. Because there's so many moments in the market that you can take advantage of such things happening. Price is just riding the SMA 8. Yeah, still riding it true. Sellers are gonna get whacked today. What will you do if in the LTF there is no left side for price to go up? Because in HTF it is possible, but we don't know whether it will retrace or until when. Do in the LTF. Oh, yeah, I think, you know, in situation like this, this is driven by volume. So for me, if I take a trade on the LTF, I'm expecting just, you see the accumulation, now it's taking a pause. Should be breaking these highs to continue moving up bullish. That's usually what I'm expecting, is just to see, you see, because it's already in momentum right now. Price is already pushing up and it's creating like a support over here to break these highs to continue pushing up bullish. This is already a trade that I've taken here before. I remember this scenario. Remember I spoke about there's different variables of how your trades are going to look. Like, I think it was like a couple of streams ago. This is this variable where we had taken a buy as price was parabolic. You see like this? It was the same thing that's happening right now. You see how it's like kind of parabolic to the upside? So it needs to break with some volume above those highs so price can continue to move upwards. So you see how this looks? And then go here, and this is like the same scenario it wasn't before. And then, you know, we took this buy and look at this, price kept moving up. Because you think maybe it can move up because it's already had to move up, right? But it can't keep moving up. It's already in momentum, you know, that's the whole idea. Price is already in momentum. It can just keep moving up. The problem is people are trying to sell over here. You know, for me, it's always more risky to sell like this when I see that price is already moving up. You know, because these are situations that I'm in. Like if this is a trade, I would take a buy on this trade every time. Of course, there's never a 100% hit rate, but if I was given 100 of these trades, I would take a buy on these trades expecting that price can continue to move up. Out of 100 trades, I'd always take the trade in line with the momentum. I think that makes sense. For my counter trades, knife catching stuff, next level is 34.19. Oh, 34.19. Yeah, that's pretty far up. That is far up. If you look at the daily, there are a few significant and lengthy reversals from 3400. Yeah, for me, I don't look at that. You see, it's a different perspective. Some people are gonna look left and gonna find a reason for it to come down. I'm just going with the market because every moment in the market is unique. Whatever's happening now gives two shits about what happened all the way over here. You know, because what if something happened and price is moving up because of XYZ? You know, it could still keep moving up. So I'd rather just focus on what it's currently doing right now. That's because you see, the thing is now, if I start thinking too much about all these other levels, what's gonna happen is I'm always gonna have analysis paralysis, because there's always a reason why you should not take a trade. Try it next time you have your entry confirmations. Try to find a reason why you shouldn't take the trade, and you'll find a reason why you shouldn't take the trade. What time is it now? Oh, we just got a new hourly open. Got an hourly open over here. Four hours also about to close. Got about 57 minutes for 4 hour to close. So that daily is plus 0.11%. Looks like GJ faked out above here. Dune, create resistance. Is the hourly good for keeping bullish? Yeah, I think so. I think it could just be creating some hourly lows before creating hourly highs. I think what's also looking at, it's on other brokerages. Actually, that 4 hour would have already closed, because you see this hourly open, it's also a new 4 hour candlestick that just opened. So unlike Owanda, you just had a new 4 hour open, whereas FXCM, that candle is still about to close. So I think these are just higher time frame pullbacks before potential continuations. Let's see, where did we close? Looks like it closed above that resistance level too. Ukraine forces struck Evsky and oil refineries overnight. That could be why it's getting pushed up. Yeah, we do have the tensions as well, Russia, Ukraine. Definitely a catalyst to why gold should be moving up too. August has been my slowest month since I started trading live. Yeah, so that's what I'm expecting here today. I'm expecting gold to just keep moving up like this. Where we're at 33, 38. No stop loss. No stop loss trader here sleeping. McDonald's outfit. Types of sleeping positions. See, pro trader, quant, investor. Man, this is how I used to sleep trading the Asia session. You know, because at any moment the alerts can get triggered. See, US economy been held up by Nvidia and Taylor Swift. Damn, Nvidia holding a lot of things, huh? Nvidia killing the competition though. Bottom line, if you give up on Nvidia now, I think you could miss a boat that's not sinking. Jim Cramer. Does this guy actually take positions? I usually hear him speak more like he's more of an analyst than anything. That's what I think. You know, there's a big difference between analyzing and trading. You know, there's some people who can do amazing analysis, but they can't take a trade to save their lives. You know, it's a huge difference trading and doing analysis. What's going on here? Price is struggling a bit. See, it broke the highs. It's consolidating a little bit. See, boom, boom, boom. Come on, Goldie, fly up. You already started the momentum. Just need a little whip. Where is it going to next? We're looking at maybe... we still got that 4-hour resistance to get through, but this would be the main wick that it needs to break on the HTF. That's by 34.7 area over there. That's going to be the daily, man. If we can break that wick, then we should be seeing some clean range off the daily for price to also continue moving up here towards daily resistance. So I'd say the next key area is definitely above that zone, 34.07. Take out some liquidity sitting above these 4-hour highs. Daily's already created its bottom wick. I don't really see the daily reflipping back down again. Looks like it's already created its bottom wick to continue pushing. You're in a trade? No, I'm not in a trade right now. I'm paper trading this. Where have all the volume and volatility gone these days? I remember seeing a 30 pip candle. It's gonna come back very soon. Very soon it's coming back. You can already see the exuberance starting to kick in. You know, there's a difference between trading markets which are just a little bit more waiting and trading markets with exuberance. Right now, we are definitely seeing a market which is having that exuberance starting to build up. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of these situations of like big candlesticks very soon. See how like 38 pips over there. Volume is really starting to kick in. And you can just see with the way price has been flowing of late. Like we're starting to see like sort of bigger moves happening. The 12 pillars charge. Thank you for your sub. All week GJ is tight consolidation. No trades this week for me. If you rely trading for your income, you'll be forced to take B and C class setups as you're desperate. Yeah, I mean, it's not good to be desperate. Also, like focusing on just one pair is also not good. You should at least have 2 pairs. Because yeah, definitely like GJ, if you just focus on GJ, man, GJ has been hard. I think GJ has been difficult, generally speaking. So always having at least 2 pairs is good. So you can also, you know, previously what used to happen was if I was not getting any gold, I would be getting GJ. You see, like GJ would fill up those spaces, whereas for gold, I would probably have to wait a bit longer for those positions. So you see these streaks over here. We used to get like back-to-back trades on GJ. And man, of late, you know, at some point the volume on GJ really started dying out. Then I just focused more on gold. So last time I took a GJ trade was on April 17th. And ever since then, we've just been focused on gold spot. But you see, the thing with gold is the US economy has so much, there's so much potential here, especially even heading towards the end of the year. There's so much potential that gold has actually just been moving. Even when it's ranging, it's still been given like some decent setups. Whereas GJ, for example, when there's nothing really moving GJ, it just dies. Like there's just no volume, there's nothing. It's like almost untradeable. You know, so that's why for me, man, I love gold spot. And with gold spot, you never feel like you never feel like you miss anything. There's always a next move, like literally around the corner with gold, like every time. Like you even see this trade over here. So you got a first accumulation breakout. It broke out beautifully, playing out right now. Did a little break in a retest. And also here, it's setting up like the second, this is like the second entry, potential entry over here. So what I actually love to see is price continue to move up like it did over here. You can see it's struggling a bit. It's struggling a bit here. You see your best trades, man, they never struggle. They just go straight to profit. This one is like still struggling over here as it broke the highs. But we are still above 3,400. And now it's just up to 3,400 psychological mark. This just needs to hold. So you already tested a few times. You also got that 8 SMA. Just needs to hold 3,400. Because we want to see gold move up. We want to see a little bit more of a trending session. Because price is only up 0.10% right now. The thing, if it starts failing below like 3,400 and breaking these wick lows, that daily could easily come to flipping here by 33.96. So that's what we don't want to see. We just want to see gold keep moving up here today. It's going to be a little bit more straightforward, especially for the trades which are going to come like later on. It's also going to be a little bit more straightforward if we just keep pushing up. But if we come back down, man, that's going to be another situation again where you got to wait for pre-NY to build that volume up so it can keep moving up. So that's what we don't want to see. We just want to see this thing give us some kind of a directional bias. It makes trading easier. Because otherwise you're going to end up like finding yourself in what I call the trenches. And then you're just like in a situation like this where markets are not trending and you just got to kind of find ways to catch trades in this sideways movement. Which is not as fun as trading distributions. You're gonna see, I think the best example I could give you is wait for September 18th. It's gonna be the most obvious one, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna see we're gonna be mainly trading distributions by September 18th as well. When those rate cuts come in, most market conditions, what I'm expecting gold's conditions are gonna be more trending like this, and they're gonna be like much more easier to read. They're gonna be trending, expecting it to be trending bullish, but we're expecting volume to come in. So we're going to be in more situations like this. All right, Ricardo. See you later, man. Yep, exactly. Only up 0.12%. That's your left shoulder, head. Yeah, that actually doesn't look like a head and shoulders. You see what I mean? Look at this guy's analysis here. It's when you force certain things, you're gonna force yourself to see those things. If you're forcing a certain perspective on the market. Because it says, okay, this is a left shoulder. Even if this was a left shoulder, head and right shoulder, this right shoulder here, candlestick looks like it came to the top. It kind of looks like a double top. More than a perfect like head and shoulders, which would look something like this. Correct? So you can sometimes force your analysis to kind of fit something that you really want to see. So you got to be careful about these little psychological tricks that we do on ourselves. But you see, because this is a neckline, I think he's talking more about the inverted head and shoulders. So even if you do an inverted head and shoulders here, this head is still like lower. It's still lower. So you see, this doesn't make any sense. Like an inverted would look something more like this. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Let's say that neckline. So it's a similar thing like when markets are consolidating and you really want to take a trade, you're going to find a reason as to why to take trades inside of ranges. You're going to start drawing some trend lines, and you know, that's just something that you have to be very careful of, because the market knows how to push your buttons. It really knows how to push your buttons, because it will get you when you're at your most impatient to take the wrong trade and then move in your direction. It's now a human head. Come on, fly, Goldie, fly. Why are you struggling so much? I think the reason it's struggling is because maybe on FXCM here, you know, that 4 hour is still, it's still open. So the 4 hour, it's kind of like an interesting situation, because 4 hour now the brokers have already closed. But this one still has open candlestick, which is, you could argue that it's overextended, but it could still keep pushing up, to be honest. Like if you even compare it to these other candles over here, look at this. Look at how far the 4 hour candles can move from wick to wick. That's the size of one sell 4 hour candle. So technically speaking, this candlestick could still push up. From where it is right now, it could still push up another 250 pips. So don't know what the holdup is here. You play video games? What do you do in your free time? Oh, yeah, I love video games. I love video games. Currently, I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy. I had it for some time. I bought it, but I never played it. So now I'm going back to it. Yeah. Waiting on Battlefield 6. And GTA 6. Yeah. We've done the farm English. We're good. Can afford everything now. Walking through Hogsmeade as a baller. Man, after that farming glitch, I just went to the car dealership, which is the broomstick store. Got myself a nice broom. What can you do with money in that game? You know, so little things you can do with actual getting those coins. But definitely balling out. I got the recently played about an hour ago. It's pretty good, eh? August, my wife has played it through it twice. She loves it. Oh man, they did so well with that game. Like the details in that game is incredible. Like I was watching Malfoy from Harry Potter playing Hogwarts Legacy, and the guy almost cried. Like just due to how good they did that game. And you know, since it's a game that's like freaking 9 hours long. So it's like you're watching a 9-hour Harry Potter movie. Vic, do you do physical media games or digital? Well, what does that mean? Physical media games. Physical media? No idea. Damn, if I was in this trade, I'll probably close my trade already at break even, to be honest. I'll close my trade at break even and then just wait for it to re-break the highs by 34.01. Because it was taking too long. This is way too much consolidation. This is a freaking re-break 34.01. So it's taking way too long. Oh, do you buy CD or the game from the App Store? I get it from Steam. I do PC gaming because, man, console gaming is just like, it's not possible to... You cannot compete with PC gaming. Console gaming has lower frame rates. They don't have very nice upscaling technology. So the graphics are not as good. So I get my games on Steam. Yeah, CD keys. Exactly. Sometimes you get it on CD keys. You get CD keys and you get very, very nice discounts on those games. But I don't play too much though. I maybe play like once a week on the weekends. Come on, fly, Goldie, fly. That's a hold up. This is the worst thing, man. If you take like a buy here and you see price do this, it's like better get out. This is choppiness. This could be signaling like potential reversal. See this candle over here? This is what you want to see. You just want to see volume kick in. Boom. So you create that support. We're still above 3,400. You can see the buyers. You can sense the market psychology that's happening over here. Look, 3,400 holding super strong. This is a very, very important level here. The buyers shouldn't give back 3,400. They shouldn't give it back. Let's keep going, Goldie. It's like a sport. You know, you got the buyers on one side of the field and you got the sellers on one side of the field. So right now the buyers have the ball and they shouldn't give the ball back to the sellers. They'll give the ball back to the sellers if they break below 3,400 again. Love the video. If you ever want your thumbnails to pop even more, I'd be happy to design one for you. Oh, nice. Edits craft. You can send me like a thumbnail and then I'll see if you can make a better one than the ones that I have. You know, that'll be cool. You can send it to me on Instagram. Let me post my Instagram here. On this PC or a separate gaming PC? No, on this PC, but I want to get a separate gaming one for the living room. See that? 3,400 price came down, still respecting it. This is going to be like the secondary push. You know, we already had one push. We already had one push down over here. This should be the second push. Because usually what happens is if I'm trading, let's say the pre-London time, and sometimes I come onto the chart like during this time, for example, when price has already moved up, I look at this trades and I think to myself, okay, so we've had one push already, and this is going to be a potential here for a second push. So this is still pretty good to me because we've only had one push. You know, it's like showing the direction again, then you get like a second opportunity. The worst ones I don't feel too comfortable about is like the third ones. You know, there's a second one here, and then there's going to be a third one that comes up a bit more. And the higher up we go, the higher the probability is for that retracement. You know, so I think if price can start re-breaking these highs again, that'll be a good idea to confirm that momentum that it wants to keep pushing up, respecting 3,400. And we're about to also get the new 30-minute candlestick open up. Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing. You're going to need a console for GTA 6. Exactly. The only reason is to get a console is just because of that. But at least they got the they got some ray tracing on the Pro. The PS5 Pro at least now has ray tracing and it looks a bit better. The PS5 Pro has better retracing. Better retracing and what is it, like 60 FPS on 4K? But I think in a real spec, in real life, it's going to be like 30 FPS in 4K. Literally saves me gaming on the PC as well. You know, the PlayStation, the market audience for PlayStation is not for people who really care too much about the visuals. You know, and also if you're like more competitive player, you give two shits about the visuals. Yeah, this rate PS5 6 will be out. Exactly. It's coming out like 2 years. A year, what is that? 1 or 2 years after GTA 6 comes out. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that price is coming down below 3,400 now. Yeah, I knew it. That's why I said a trade like this, it's better to get out of break even, because man, if it's not already moving, then this is not giving you that it's not giving you that continuation. You know, usually when prices are momentum, it just keeps going, and you guys have seen it yourselves. Like, it just keeps breaking and moving in those directions. So the moment it starts to hesitate, remember we spoke about this even before price was moving up like this. Remember we spoke about these trades, which if they give you a hard time, those are not your good trades. That's exactly what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. Abra, your sell was on Asia. Yeah, basically it was on Asia. But that was like pre-London. Actually, that's quite interesting. You know the thing is, I don't usually put my stop loss to break even when I take these trades, but I think an interesting thing to consider is maybe putting stop loss to break even when price goes into profit. Like, because honestly, man, like sometimes you can get away with like a lot of these beautiful trades which give you 0 drawdown. Like straight into pips, and then you don't even wait for half of a risk to reward and just put your stop loss to break even. Problem is, it's like it can be quite aggressive. Like, generally speaking, in the long term, it's a very aggressive thing to always put your stop loss to break even. That's the only issue. But in certain market conditions, I think you can get away with it. What did you do? And I'm out. 1 minute play. You caught the reversal. One minute sell off. Yeah, because you're thinking like, look, if these buyers, they took a buy over here, it's also a pretty good way to kind of like look at the trade. Because these buyers, they take a buy over here, look at how price struggled to move up for them. You know, it's always this scenario whenever you take like a position and you see price do this. It's always this scenario that those are like your losing trades. You know, like your best trades, they never hang around your entries like for too long. So I think, you know, that's a pretty good play over there. Because if you notice this, then you can say, okay, what's the probability that now if price breaks those lows that we're going to move down? You know, it's a pretty good probability if you're also considering where the other people's buyers were previously, you know, and then you can use that as a confluence to look for your sells. Because if you get out break even here, you get yourself an option is to re-enter at the break of the highs, which is safer. It'll show you the confirmation again for direction. Or you wait for their stop loss to get hit, which is basically your entry right over there. Because those are like two entry models currently at play, with this one potentially failing. So some trades are taken based off of like similar analysis like this. Because you see why I mean, chat? Like the best trades never give you a hard time. Look at the way price moved here on these sells. Pretty nice. Pretty nice sell-off. You see it broke below the lows, pull back up, then the next trade started breaking below again. That's what you want to see most of the time is this, not this. This is garbage. Well, it ran without retesting my entry. Why are you running?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
But yeah, chat, this is still something that I'm waiting for here today. I'm still anticipating that PA is going to look something like this. But you know, this has to move this was, for example, also pre-New York. So I was kind of interested to see if this would be playing out actually during the London session. Come on, Goldie. It's currently at 5-minute support. Could be making a wider consolidation, getting like more orders in here. So it looks something like this, and then next time it re-breaks those highs, should confirm more of the move up. Should we start looking for sells? No, I'm not looking for sells. I'm still looking for buys. I'll still be looking for buys. I'm pretty sure like, next time it breaks above 34.1 over here, that's going to be forming a consolidation here, and then price will start moving up again. It's just like the London session is notorious not for trending. I think that's probably the issue. So it's probably going to buy a little bit more time here to start breaking in the next hourly candlestick in about 25 minutes. 25 minutes, that next hourly candle will probably have a better chance of making that move happen, because that's going to be the pre-New York candle. Many have tried and you're okay. The first pricing in for NY buys. Yeah, exactly. There was already a small move that happened from here. But I think the next time it starts to break, that's going to be more of like leaning towards the daily, heading towards like a daily bias. Next time it re-breaks like something like this. Because right now the daily is still 0.07%. But that's what I'm expecting. Like for sells, if I'm going to change my bias, I want to see price at least maybe start breaking below here first. Buyers make money, sellers make money. So you see, you got sellers over here, they made money. But if you consider the way price has been moving today, there's a higher probability that if you take a buy position, that it will have a chance to be a running trade. You know, because this is hopium. Hopium is expecting something like this to happen. But why do you expect something like that to happen when majority of the time price has been moving upwards? You know, so it's just a probabilities game. Like there's a higher chance that if you get a buy, it's most likely going to be a running trade than to get a sell like this. So that's, you know, buyers and sellers make money, but important thing is not to be greedy. You see, like this morning, I still took a sell. Made some money on this dump over here. This was the sell. Little accumulation breakout. Watching this little play over here. Price broke below support. Hit profit targets. Secured something. But if I was greedy, expecting it to continue running down, then you know, then at that point, you wouldn't make any money. It's always important not to be greedy. Secure something. Look at this. Seller's already been put in drawdown. You say secure something. Whether that's whatever it is you're planning on securing, don't change your plan. If you're planning on securing, let's say, you know, like 1% or 2%, don't change your plan. Just stick to that. You'll have way more consistent results if you stick to that. If you see my results over here, most of my trades I'm securing at when I'm holding 2%. At least 2%. So that's basically the signals that I sent. I usually hold. So when I send signal, I'm most of the time holding. At least 2%, 2%, 2%. Now I try not to deviate from that as much as possible. You know, it's only sometimes when I see an opportunity, a really good opportunity, maybe I'll hold. But you don't always holding. You see, out of this whole month, I think I've only had one 3% trade. That was my highest trade. Then I think we got one over here, 2.56. But you know, some of our take profits were getting slipped. So it was getting positive slippage on take profit. So I was getting more when I was closing than I also anticipated. But I think this whole month, I would only count maybe that 3% over there. But problem is a lot of the time you're trying to hold all your trades. You're trying to get a bumper cloud on all your positions. But if you secured something, I think, you know, that's the best thing. Even if you want to hold a trade for longer, just secure even like 80%. You know, take something off the table there and then just let it continue to run. Hey, One Stop Buzz, thank you for the sub. Yeah, we're definitely looking for buys because I think this 1 hour candle, we had to fill the gap for the previous gap a little bit. Then we start moving back up. I think it's a good analysis over here. It could even be like small break and retest of these previous wicks. Definitely we are seeing more bullish exuberance. You will be more confident in a buy than a sell. If you're taking a sell, you know, you're going to have these opportunities like this. And those are really nice opportunities where price takes long and you can kind of get a good read on price. And maybe you can get away with like a small scalp here. Because I think price, when it broke the lows, it pushed down about, you know, like 16 pips. And the funny thing is it pushed down exactly how much I secure. So I'd already been out of this trade as well. Yeah, I think, was it like right here somewhere? So close. 15, 16 pips, kind of hard to say. Would I have secured? I don't know. Maybe it could have been a break even. Maybe it could have been a break even because it came so close. But you definitely don't want to loiter around those positions for too long with this bullish exuberance. So that's the game plan, chat. I'm going to be looking for some continuations later on. So, you know, we have support, we have resistance. This is no trade zone. And the closer we're getting to New York Open, the higher probabilities markets are going to start trending soon. What's my RR per trade? On average, I think just 1-to-1. But you see, I focus, as I said, I focus more on like a percentage gains than risk reward. So 1-to-1 can still be like 2% for me. So I play rather with the percentage than the RR. So one trade, maybe I risk less. Another trade, maybe I risk a bit more, but all within a range of 1 to 1.5%. Usually I'm trying to keep it between this range. What do you think that Wall Street pushed? What do you mean? I think we're just at a key level now. You see, we're just at 3,400. This is a very strong psychological level. Yo, Woods has been dethroned. Holy, I never thought I would see the day. Who has dethroned you, Woods? There. Oh, Ellie. Let's go, Ellie. Never thought I would see the day, sir. Look at this. Trust me, guys. 3,400. If we can just break above 3,400, we should keep moving up. I just don't see. I don't see price on gold moving down. Fundamentally and everything, it doesn't make sense. Created daily lows over here. We're breaking above daily highs. I'm saving my last bullet for a buy. Unless we really see price give back gains. At that point, that's going to be a bit strange. If we get like a candlestick start to move down like this, respecting 3,400 and back into this gulag. Yeah, if we get back into this gulag over here, I think that's going to be a bit odd. Because this is where price previously had been accumulating orders within this region when we had the breakout. So we should be moving up in steps. You know, like we take a step over here, we should be moving up. Again, another consolidation. Because, you know, the thing is like these moves, remember we said like pretty small moves. The distribution is pretty small, decent like this. And then majority of the time it's consolidating. So then we're going to see another situation like that. Move up again and then probably consolidate. So it's basically been doing that. If you just look at the way price has been behaving all day, it's basically been doing this. Push up, consolidate, push up, consolidate, push up, consolidate, then push up. So if we do come back down here, that's going to be a bit strange for bullish bias. That siren has woken up the beast. Tomorrow, I'm doubling Ellie's XP. Unleash the Kraken. I think the buyers have given up 3,400 for the sellers. To the sellers, watch a massive retracement come in. Thank guys for the 100 likes. Let's go. Let's start a poll over here. Bullish. See, bullish or bearish on gold? Bullish, and you got bearish. What are we saying, chat? Bullish or bearish? Let me see. Let's get some sentiments here. You're all more bullish or bearish? Next trade, man, if I get a buy, I'm holding that buy. I'm holding that buy for like 2%. It'll be awesome if it comes above 3,400 though. Oh, we got the new hourly open in the next 10 minutes. It could have been waiting for the 4-hour closure on some of these other brokers. You got 10 minutes 40 seconds for 4-hour candles to close. Got 10 minutes 30 seconds. It's just a small pause. I think because like we had previously 3 bullish candles in a row, that maybe create like a small pause over here for the next hourly to open up. Next hourly candle to open up and then to keep pushing up like this. You know that's the thing. Look at this. The problem with a sell is the moment the candle starts to behave like this, man, that's already gonna be a whip. In my head, that's already a whip. You see the way this candlestick already behaved over here? In the last like literally 3 seconds, it just pushed up like 8 pips to close bullish, like a bullish or like a bearish doji. Like that. That's why I'm trying to avoid. That's why I'm trying to avoid like sells. Unless, you know, like I think the one Luke took over here, this had like a lot of confluence. You know, I had some kind of confidence, especially because it stagnated there for a bit for at least some kind of a push. But yeah, generally speaking, man, the moment it pulls up like that, damn. You know, because you could just be on the wrong side of the market. Because gold could just be planning on heading up today. And you're going to look back at it. In hindsight, you're going to look back at the day and say, oh man, I should have been focused on the buys. If I just focused on the buys, even if there were just breakouts from accumulation phase like this, you could have had like profitable day. We got buyers here at 62%. Say they're bullish. I'm bearish in Dodge. Yeah, chat. So I don't know when this move is happening. We got hourly about to close. So that's what I'm gonna be looking for. I'm gonna be looking for price buys on gold. You know, especially above 3,400, looking for buy confirmations that price can continue to move up bullish. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Ali's about to close here, 8 minutes. Looks like it might even reject 3,400. It might pull up above 3,400 and close above that level. Damn, GJ is massively consolidating. Garbage PA on GJ. Tomorrow is Freaky Friday, the last trading day of the month. Oh, right, exactly. We got the last trading day of the month over there. So I think, you know, it's been a pretty good month. Then we have September. Yeah, chat. That's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be waiting, but for right now, I'm gonna go and eat something. Remember, the market is abundant of moves. Don't feel like you're missing out anything. Like, literally, even if you miss this buy, don't worry about it. The next trade is literally gonna be around the corner. Even if this distributes above like this resistance over here, you know, don't worry about it. If price is moving up, there's so much room for price to move up on this daily candlestick. You still have this whole range here on the daily, potentially up towards like 30, 34, 31. You know, it's very possible that this daily candle will do even 470 pips. You know, that's not absurd for a gold daily candle to do. Daily candle can easily do that from wick to wick. 470 pips. Yeah, but it's pausing right now. This is basically a point A. So whatever the next move is going to be, it's coming out of this zone. Just like we spoke about this zone, and then you got the distribution. The next move is coming out of this zone. More with like a bullish bias for me at least. So I'll see you guys on the next one. See you all for Freaky Friday tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Adios.
My boy, take it down, what it is, cash in the bag.